Hola, ¿qué tal, amigos? Profesor Pablo, grammar, lesson number 38, object pronouns, reflexive, indirect, and direct. This is one of my favorite lessons because object pronouns are just a disaster for so many people. They don't understand them, but we're going to figure this out. Let's go through this entire lesson step by step, and you will get it. All right, point number one, reflexive pronouns are me, te, se, nos, and say. They show that the action of the verb happens back to the subject of the verb. Examples: me levanto temprano, I get up early. I get myself up early. Nos acostamos tarde, we go to bed late. We put ourselves to bed late. Number two, indirect object pronouns are me, te, le, nos, and les. Notice that the me, te, and the nos are the same. They're the same for any kind of object pronoun. They're always going to be me, te, and nos. It's the say or the lay or the lace or the lo or the la or the los or the las that can change. But rest assured, for me, te, and nos, those will be the same for all types of object pronouns. All right, number two, indirect object pronouns again are me, te, le, nos, and les. They show to whom, for whom, on whom, or at whom something happens. Key point. They answer the question to whom, for whom, on whom, at whom, or in what with the verb and receive the indirect action of the verb. Okay, we have some examples here. Let's take a look. What you write is the direct object. To whom you write is the indirect object. Le voy a escribir una carta a mamá. I am going to write a letter to mom. Le is the indirect object pronoun. Carta is the direct object. Le voy a escribir una carta a mamá. Now the le goes in front of the conjugated verb voy. Le voy a escribir una carta a mamá. You might say, why don't we just say, voy a escribir una carta a mamá? You can say that and basically be totally understood. However, the proper way is to clarify a mamá. If you have an a phrase on the end referring to a person, we like to use the pronoun in front to clarify it. So, le voy a escribir una carta a mamá. Le is the indirect object pronoun. Carta is the direct object. Example B. What you sell is the direct object. To whom you sell it is the indirect object, the person. Les voy a vender las camisas a las chicas. I am going to sell the shirts to the girls. Les is the indirect object pronoun, that is to whom you're selling. And camisas is what you're selling. Camisas is the direct object. So les clarifies a las chicas. Could you say, voy a vender las camisas a las chicas? Yes, that's how beginners would say it. But technically, when you have a las chicas, you have an a phrase like that with a person at the end, you want to clarify it at the beginning, in this case with les. Point number C. What clothing you put on a little kid is the direct object. On whom you put the clothing is the indirect object. Le voy a poner una chaqueta al niño. I'm going to put a jacket on the little boy. Le is the indirect object pronoun referring to the boy. Chaqueta is the direct object. So le goes in front of boy. Al niño is clarified by le. Example D. The door you open is the direct object. That's what you are opening. What? For whom you open it is the indirect object, the person, right? The door is the direct object and the person is the indirect object. Le voy a abrir la puerta a la maestra. I am going to open the door for the teacher. Okay? So, le is the indirect object pronoun that's clarifying a la maestra, and puerta is the direct object. Now, to look at this in a different way, let's look again at example D. Okay, now you could say, le voy a abrir la puerta. I'm going to open up the door. Now that le, we know could be for him or for her or for usted, you, right? So the a la maestra clarifies the le. Take a look at example C. If you just say, le voy a poner una chaqueta, that means I'm going to put a jacket on. It could be on him, on her, or on usted, you. So the al niño clarifies who the le is. Le voy a poner una chaqueta al niño. Let's look at B. If you just say, les voy a vender las camisas, that could be, I'm going to sell the shirts to them or to you, plural. So we put a las chicas to make sure we know to whom the les is referring. Look at example A. Le voy a escribir una carta a mamá. If I just say le voy a escribir una carta, That would be, I'm going to write him or her or usted, you, a letter. So we put a mamá to make sure that we know that the le is referring to mom. All right, let's look down now at example E with a deeper understanding. The letter you send is the direct object. That is what you are sending. The person to whom you send it is the indirect object. Le voy a mandar la carta a papá. I'm going to send the letter to dad. Now, if you just said le voy a mandar la carta, that could mean that le could be ambiguous. It could be, I'm going to send the letter to him, to her, or usted, you. So we clarify the le with a papá. Le voy a mandar la carta a papá. Le is the indirect object pronoun and carta is the direct. All right, let's look at example F. What you say is the direct object. To whom you say it or to whom you speak is the indirect object. Le voy a decir la verdad al juez. I am going to tell the judge the truth. All right? Le is the indirect object pronoun and verdad is the direct object. If you just say le voy a decir la verdad, that can mean I'm going to tell him, her, or usted, you, the truth. So you clarify the le with al juez. Okay? Let's look at example G. What you give is the direct object. To whom you give it is the indirect object. Les voy a dar un regalo a mis amigos. I'm going to give a gift to my friends. Les is the indirect object pronoun. Regalo is the direct object. Okay, remember direct is what you're giving here. If I just say les voy a dar un regalo, that les could be I'm going to give them or I'm going to give you guys a gift. So we want to clarify who the les refers to. Les voy a dar un regalo a mis amigos. Example H. What you put in something is the direct object, like gas in the car. What you put it in is the indirect object. Ponle gasolina al carro. Put gas in the car. What you're putting is gas. Where? In the car. Okay? Le is the indirect object pronoun, and gasolina is the direct object pronoun. Okay? All right. Here we go. Point number 3. Direct object pronouns. Now look, the me, te, and the nos are the same again. Now we have, instead of le, as the indirect is le, we have lo and la and los and las. Instead of le and les, we have lo, la, los, and las. Let's go back to our reflexive pronouns. They were me, te, se, nos, and say. So me, te, and nos were the same. We had say and say. For indirect, we have me, te, and nos the same, but the other two are le and lace. So reflexive, you have the say and say. Indirect, you have the le and lace. In direct, the me, te, nos are the same. We have the lo, la, and then the los, las. So what are we talking about? We've got to know when to use the say, when to use the le or the lace, and when to use the lo or the la or the los and the las. If it's me, it's me. If it's you, it's te. If it's we, it's or us, it's nos. We get that. All right, let's look at number 3, direct object pronouns. They represent the person or object that receives the direct action of the verb. Key point. They answer the question who or what with the verb and receive the direct action of the verb. Here we go again, examples. El dinero, no lo tengo. The money, no, I don't have it. Lo is masculine singular and replaces el dinero. The money is what I don't have. That's why you use lo for it. You're not going to use le. Le basically is referring to a person. Let's look at B. Las revistas, the magazines, sí las tengo. The magazines, yes, I have them. Las is feminine plural and replaces las revistas. The magazines are what I have, the direct object. Example C. A Maria, no la conozco. Mary, no, I don't know her. La is feminine singular, replacing Maria. Maria is who I don't know. It's I don't know Mary. No la conozco, I do not know her. All right, let's look at some examples. We want to make sure you understand the difference between a direct object pronoun and an indirect object pronoun, or very simply put, a direct object or an indirect object. All right, examples. What you buy is the direct object. For whom you buy it would be the indirect. What you eat is the direct object. What you study is the direct object. What you know is the direct object. Who or what you see is the direct object. Who or what you visit is the direct object. Who you need is the direct object. I need ma. Necesito a mamá. I need her. La necesito. Some people might say le. Standard Latin American Spanish is going to go with la. What you read is the direct object. I read it. Lo leo. What you need is the direct object. I need the car keys. I need them. Las necesito. What you have is the direct object. The book. I have it. Lo tengo. What you wash or clean is a direct object. Who you call is the direct object. I'm going to call him. Lo voy a llamar. So le means to him, for him, on him, or at him in translation. But lo means either it or him. Key point. Do not get into an argument whether the direct or indirect object pronoun lo, la versus le is correct. There are certain verbs that can use either pronoun and still be correct. For many native speakers, it depends on the Spanish that they grew up with. In this case, different is okay. It is not wrong. Key points. 1. Notice that me, te, nos are the same for reflexive, indirect, and direct pronouns. Basically, we only have to concern ourselves with le and les versus lo, la, los, and las. And of course, we must be aware of the reflexive pronouns se. You must know the difference between le and les and lo, la, los, and las. Use le or les indirect when saying to, from, on, or at, him, her, usted, you, ustedes, you plural, or them. Use lo, la, los, las direct when saying him, her, you, usted, you, or ustedes, you plural, it, or them. And number 3, me, te, and nos never change no matter if they are reflexive, indirect, or direct. So to summarize object pronouns, reflexive object pronouns are me, te, se, nos, and se. A reflexive verb is where the action of the verb happens back to the subject. Indirect object pronouns almost always refer to people, and they are me, te, le, nos, and les. Direct object pronouns also refer to people when you're using the me, the te, or the nos. However, the lo and la can be it, but lo and la can also be him or her, or usted, you. The los and las can be them, meaning objects, or the los and las could be you plural, all guys mixed group, or you plural, all girls, or it could be them. We know that object pronouns can go in front of a conjugated verb. They can go in front of negative commands. For example, don't do it, no lo hagas, no lo digas, don't say it. We know object pronouns can go on the end of infinitives. I'm going to buy it, voy a comprarlo. Positive commands, buy it, cómpralo. And I am buying it, estoy comprándolo. Go back forward and put an accent mark. We also know that object pronouns, when you have an indirect and a direct, right? If you have two of them together, then whether you're using it in the front of a conjugated verb or on the end of a positive command, or you're using it on the end of an ando, yendo, an ing, or if you're using it in front of a negative command, we know if you have two object pronouns together, one will be direct and one will be indirect. The one referring to the person, the indirect pronoun, will come first, and then the object pronoun, the lo, la, los, or las, will come second. Remember, if there's a fire in a house, you run in and get the person out first, and then the object. Indirect first, and then direct. All right, if you need to, read over the lesson a couple of times, listen to it again. Good luck with it. Es todo por ahora. Hasta luego. This is Profesor Pablo signing off. Cambio fuera.